Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back. It's your boy Rose Hashira with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing to you something I've been working on for a couple of weeks now. Over the past couple of months, I've been getting a lot of people, not only in my Twitter DMs, but also PlayStation DMs, asking me for help as fellow millia players, asking them for how they can improve, and I'm seeing a lot of the same problems as I'm watching their replays and seeing what kind of mistakes they're making. So, as of today, I'm going to be making you a guide of 5 mistakes that beginner millia players are commonly making. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button. If not, let's get into the video. Alright guys, let's get into the video. I already have Millia, good old friend, booted up in training mode, and we're going to start going over one of the more common mistakes that I see in millia players that I see them do, and that's wasting all of their air resources initially. When you're playing in neutral, you have to realize that millia just neutral jumping is already a scary threat, because look at how many things the opponent has to look out for once they approach her and she just neutral jumps over them. You have to worry about double jump, floating back and then double jumping again. They have to worry about just trying to turbo fall cap all over them. If they approach with 6p, you can just capital immediately in that spot. There's a lot of things that millia can do to threaten with her additional air resources. But let's say your back is to the wall and Geo's just sitting here, just waiting for you to land, and then you double jump. You have made it exponentially more easy for that player to not only anti-air you, but anti-air with a huge return. Remember, characters like Giovanna, Kai, Sol have huge return on their anti-airs. And this is a very detrimental way of playing, because once you do this, all they have to look for is either you landing or just capping down or just auto-piloting turbo fall. So really, once they hold this position here, they're fine. And if they see you land, characters like Geo or Kai, if they have 50 meter or even without 50 meter, can just threaten you with a button or with a special move and immediately take space. So this is one of the more common ones that I like to see millia players fix. One of the ways you can fix this though is just not panicking once you're in the corner or once you're in the air. Remember, you have all of these ways to threaten. You can back off, you can advance, capple, you can turbo fall, or you can just like land and threaten with a button there. That's one of the main ways you can just avoid wasting your air resources, and this is going to apply in different ways to different characters, and you'll hear me say that a lot throughout this video. Millia isn't a character who fights every character the same. Her game plan and her way of winning is the same for every character, but she has to go about this very differently against various different characters. So how you figure out how to make those game plans and how to get to that initial game plan is up to you. You find the most stable way, you run it to your best way. But just wasting air resources like this, like double air dashing and then trying to capo back, it's really bad. I don't recommend this at all. This is like a very common mistake that I like to see people fix. Alright, our next one is going to be playing way too fast. Playing too fast can be a lot of different things. There's a lot of examples to really go into this, but one of the main ones I see is the millia players just going straight in, not really making use of like playing in this mid-range where she has a really good advantage with threatening with her backdash, threatening with just forward button, and just really like playing to her speed but not really using it to their best advantage. People have to remember that speed is not only a blessing in this game, but it is also a curse. If you're just running straight at a character, like let's go ahead and bring in another friend, Nago Yuki. Let's bring in Nago. So we've brought in our good old friend Nago, and this is an example of how playing too fast can be detrimental. Alright? You just run into buttons if you're playing too fast. Yes, you may have time to react, but I see a lot of millia players just running into these buttons, which is not very good at all. If you're going to try and approach a character in these ranges, the main way you want to try and do it is just dash blocking, maybe slipping an IID from this range, but you just slowly make your way to this range where she's really fast, and you can dash 5K, 2K, 2P. Occasionally you can threaten with IID to really catch them slipping if you threaten the ground game enough. And also remember too that when you're playing at these ranges, not every whiff punish you do has to be 2K 2D. If anything, there are some times where you're trying to go for that 2K 2D is actually detrimental and you will miss your punish instead. Yes, they have to block, but your options off this are not, like, they're not good. The main way you want to try to play against these characters and try to whiff punish them is using the option that works in that moment. If you know that 2K is not going to reach in time, but you can get a far slash 5H into sword car, go ahead and do that, because any knockdown is better than no knockdown. Do they have options and the ability to RPS afterwards? Yes, but you as a millia player can't always be greedy in these matchups. Sometimes you need to take the first hit that you can get and then make it into a deadly situation. Your opponent should essentially be feeling fear with every knockdown they have. Will they have answers, and will stronger players not feel the situation as much? Yes, but you can build option sets around this to really play against how they want to defend against each other. But you'll never get here if you're playing too fast and you're just running straight into people's buttons. This is a very common mistake. And this is a mistake that I was even making for a very long time, and it took me a couple of months to really get down. So being able to play with her speed, not rushing in, being able to RPS naturally with her moves, it's honestly a skill you'll have to build. And this will come with time as you get more experience with millia. And you might not find the right answer immediately. There are going to be times where you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to play against a lot of people who give you different looks in neutral. And just remember that neutral is not one-to-one. Neutral is ever evolving, it's ever changing, and it varies from person to person. So how you play against one style of Geo or Nago player, you won't play against another style of Geo or Nago player. I can't play against Nubenheimer like I would play against Dewberry. Just like I can't play against Sonero like I would Smuggles. They're two different people, two different ways of neutral. You have to go about it in different ways. So this is how you really address playing too fast. After this, we're going to be covering our next point, which is going to be like my favorite. This is my favorite. This is the big one. This is one of the main reasons why I made this video, and it's this right here. Oh, sorry, a little bit of trouble. Giving up your 50-50s. I don't, for the life of me, understand why people are just like backing off in some spots. Like, if you get 2K 2D, that's your time. Go ham. All of her mix is just naturally, like, is naturally made to beat supers and beat reversals most of the time. So when you get this hard knockdown, you should not be, you know, going for something cheeky like that to say, oh, look how good my neutral is. I'm sorry, look how good my mix is. You know, I hit him with the no mix. It's not the way. Just run your offense, take your 50-50s, because a lot of good players are going to be able to bet that you're going to give up that 50-50 for something cheeky. They'll just stand block, and by the time you get back to them, your pressure is weaker. Because think about this. All right. We'll send the all guard, throw disc, backs up, blocks it. That's what I can get at time. That's what I can get. The disc isn't going to hold it there for that long, so all you can really get is a far slash, maybe a 6H if you're lucky, but even then, your options, especially from that range, aren't really good. They can check all of them. They don't have to worry about bad moon. You're losing a lot of offense by doing it this way. This is not the way you want to be playing millia or addressing those problems. Another thing that'll tie into this as well is going to go into our fourth point is you need to know which of your discs are meaty and which of your discs are not. I see a lot of millia players doing mix-ups that do not work unless they are meaty or not meaty. So I'll see millia players go for 2K 2D and then try to throw. You can't do that in that spot. It's a meaty disc. All of your discs that don't end in sweep are usually not meaty, with the exception of metered disc setups. If it's a metered disc setup, the disc is 9 times out of 10 meaty. There are some cases where it's not, but it will be on you to know. So if you do this, that's not a meaty disc. And you can tell it's like a throw. I can throw immediately. And this should be the way you can test. If you want to test if your disc setup is meaty or not, see if you can throw them out of the disc. If you can throw them out of the disc, it's not a meaty one. This also is going to work into how you're routing certain mix-ups as well. One of the things I like to do is if I get non-meaty disc in the corner, I check them immediately. I would say, do you know that I can throw you here? Oh wow, I'm doing it so wrong. I'm gonna have to edit this out. There you go. That's exactly how you check. You just see if you can throw them out of it, and then when you're playing against people, you can use these to check what they know and what they don't know. If I see somebody don't throw meaty disc, or they just let themselves get thrown, or they don't try to fuzzy jump it, that's party time for me, honestly. That is honestly party time. Will the disc protect you for for trying to go for these sort of situations? It will sometimes, depending how your opponent reacts, but it's always good to check them for non-meaty discs, see if they know how to fight it. And then it's also up to you to know which one of your discs are meaty, so you don't take a risk. You don't have to. If you go for throw disc here, right, and you try to air dash, and then Nago supers you out of it because you went for a cheeky mix-up that you normally should not be doing, that's honestly on you. And you should be finding ways to circumvent Nago being able to super. That's a big way. So, in fact, we can even show right here. After recovery, let's set our action to Wasoriyuki. So, this will hit. Hits me right out of it. But, if I expect super coming, I can flow back, and then the disc catches them. You go for wall stomp. And then look at that. You got a really good setup off of just knowing what your opponent has, knowing what options they have to go against it, and knowing that your disc isn't meaty, so it's on you. It's on you to avoid the situation. That's the main thing. Alright, so the last problem that I'm going to show, and this is one that even I struggled with, so I don't even fault millia players for doing it, is when they're being pressured in the corner, alright? So you're up against Nago, and he has 0 blood, so he's just, he's pressuring you with 5H, doing everything he can, and then, you get a chance. He drops your combo, right? He drops a combo, you get out, right? A lot of millia players just default to trying to air dashing out of the corner, alright? I've seen a ton of clips of people pinning a millia's back to the wall, and they're sitting here, and then they immediately try to IAD over. Not every escape has to be an IAD. Sometimes you can just float and then get out that way, because some characters cannot cover this arc well unless they back up and give up space. And then if they back up and give up space in that next situation, guess what you can do? You can pull up on the ground because her run speed is really, really good. She has a very good run speed. Honestly, fixing this mistake is going to come from not panicking as much in the corner and just being more confident in your defense and RPSing around different characters. But honestly, this mistake shouldn't be made as much as you're getting more confident in your defense. Remember, this is not the only way to get out of the corner. Her IED is good, but at certain ranges, if your opponent's standing right here and is just sitting there waiting for you to IED, it's not hard for them to react and get a throw. Because even if you IED, look, you're not over them. They can just meet you in the middle and grab you. Or they can 6P, DP, whatever they want to really do to check you for trying to get out the corner. And if it's a counter hit, it's a lot of damage. This character, she dies easily. We already know the meme. She dies in 2 touches, a gust of wind, and she's dead. Don't give your opponent easy ways to just pin you down and anti-air you because you want to default to IADing out of the corner. You have ground space, you have a 4-frame 2P, that's really good. A golden far slash, this far slash is really good. 6H is really good for if they want to catch you trying to approach by sticking out a low button. 6H is not only airborne on the first hit, that first hit low crushes and is your highest damage starter or counter hit, so it's really good for that. Really good for checking backdash as well. This should honestly, when you're back to the corner and you're trying to find your way out, you should be trying out as many options as possible, and then occasionally if you see your opponent start to pull up on you and just abuse space like this, then you can just slip into IED. because now their backs to the wall. Oh, I forgot about super. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about super there. But then there's backs to the wall, and you can run your pressure that way. Other than that, that's going to be it for covering most of the mistakes. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know down in the comment section below. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Rest easy. Peace out.